Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
Welcome into the Sangha Live space together. It's really lovely to be here again. I feel like I haven't been gone that long. Just turns out my scheduling worked well with Sangha Live to offer a couple of sessions in this period. Yeah, if it's not exactly your thing, don't worry, I'm not taking over. I'm only popping in for these two that are quite close together, and then there'll be plenty others coming in to offer these sessions. But it's a real privilege for me to have the chance to offer a couple of different weeks on different themes, and maybe in a bigger picture they'll also kind of connect for those of you who've done both. But certainly you don't need to have been to anything before actually to tune in and get a lot of benefit from any explorations that are going on here. As always, it's a real joy to see the chat messages going by, seeing the warmth of connection and the kind of wide open kindness that is really distinctive to this community. And yeah, thank you for being here. And if you haven't been here so much before, really feel invited to say hello in the chat. If you want, you can mention, how you are, where you are, anything else. It's a lovely community and very welcoming, and you'll get a lot of, kind support. It's lovely to be able to kind of guarantee that and welcome someone into that. So thank you, all of you who make this such a delightful community to connect with. And yeah, may all be well, may all be peaceful and at ease as we tune in. And of course, as we know, that isn't yet the case. Yeah, it isn't yet the case. So yeah, blessings and peaceful wishes to all of you. Those of you who are familiar with the Sangha Live platform will kind of know all of this, but I'll just say a word or two. I'm going to speak some ideas about practice, things that we can bring alive in our practice for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer today, around 15, because of kind of arriving and settling in, and a little bit by way of introduction. Then we'll have a good half an hour of relatively silent meditation, but I will be dropping in just little ideas here and there related to the ideas actually that I'll be sharing in the reflections. Those two kind of go together, pairing together there. Then we will open out for any kind of questions, reflections, ideas that you have about your practice, how it's going on for you, how it connects with the ideas that I'm exploring and expressing, or any clarifications around there that feel helpful to tune into. So let's see where we go with all of that. Or maybe just a little bit about the questions. If you find you have a question coming up, if it's early on in the session, there may be other comments and it might get kind of lost. So there is a questions and responses box. It's a kind of, maybe it's a speech bubble with a question mark in it. For me, it's at the bottom of my screen. You can click into there and place a question at any time. When we get to the question and answers time, you can just use capital letters or something like that, and saying question or reflection will help me actually determine which one's which. And then I'll kind of prioritize answering questions, but I do stay on and read all of the reflections as well. And that does help shape the interplay of what comes out tomorrow or in a later session where maybe it relates more to what we're going to share there. So yeah, do feel free to play your part. The interactive nature of this platform is something that's, something we can really take the benefit of. And actually, let's also use the chat now for a bit of a sharing in the community. So something I like to recognize that in my practice at any time, the direction that the practice goes is influenced by the intentions I bring into the practice. Now, that may be obvious to some, and it may actually be, oh, isn't that interfering to others? But I'm not being clever when I say the intention to not interfere is a very significant intention. Yes. So if that's your intention, that's your intention. And that's good as well. So my intention is to not interfere with anything at all. And that's a really interesting intention, because you've got to notice where you're interfering, and you've got to find out ways that would express less interfering. Right. So that's a big task. That's a big intention. It's as big an intention, perhaps, as my intention is for, a heart as wide as the world. You say, wow, that sounds really impossible. So does not interfering at all. Right. All of these intentions, they are impossible. And perhaps there's a degree by which they should be impossible. Right. They should be ambitious. Equally, it could just be that you want to intend towards something that feels very accessible. Yeah. I want to be with the next breath. I want to soothe the tension in my shoulders just a little bit more. Yeah, so you can go wherever you want. So what I thought we'd do is just start off sharing those intentions into the space, a nice way. It could be a weekly intention, like an intention for this week. But it just comes down to this moment, just this moment or so. What would you like to see more of in your life? What would you like to see more of? And your life can include the world, your close relationships, this body, heart, mind here. What would you like to plant the seeds of? And just pop it in the chat. It can be a word, a phrase, a sentence. What is it you wish to nourish, to deepen, to tune into, to develop, to sustain? You just read those, take those in. Yeah, to pause, more space. To be kind and gentle. Safety. Understanding. Interconnection. Non-fear. Yeah, it's really lovely to see these, and serves many functions for us in our practice. I think there's a sense of community that opens through that. It's, oh yeah, I also really want that. That sounds good. Even if my intention is somewhere else right now, I really respect and honor your intention. That can be a genuine feeling that comes up for us. Yeah. It's also maybe good for us just to name it and say, actually, this is what I'm about. And it's not hold me to account, but also I hope I remember that this week, moment by moment, this is where I'm going. And we prioritize what we say is a priority, in how we live. And that can be a really rich exploration for us. How do we actually live this? In terms of meditation, wise and appropriate intention is a really early point in the path. It forms the path. Yeah. And at least every moment when we remember it, and maybe even when we don't, it actually plays a part in shaping the path. Yeah. And so what I would say, and we'll kind of bring this into being today and through the week, and we can keep that going through our whole practice, is prioritize what you feel is a priority. And I would say, bring it into being in how you bring your attention, this precious gift of your attention. Yeah. Perhaps we can even worry less about what we pay attention to. Oh, was I with, X number of breaths or sounds or present moments, whatever, but like more evaluate, prioritize the practice on, did I meet this moment? Maybe it wasn't a breath, maybe I was off in a thought. Did I meet it as soon as I noticed with that quality of attention? Yeah. A lovely way to practice, to prioritize the quality of our attention over the quantity. We'll come into this more and more through the week, I hope. Yeah. Make it more and more clear. But maybe that just catches the attention. Think, yeah, that's what I should be prioritizing. Yeah. So this week, we'll be exploring meeting the whole of our life in skillful ways, meeting challenges in ways that bring ease. Yeah. And this will take time. Yeah. So can we give the time for more peace and ease and all those beautiful qualities you were just mentioning? Can we give the space that we're not kind of cramming our practice into a moment or two and not squeezing our experience into kind of a cramped, narrow, tight space there? And we'll notice these types of contraction come with us at times, right? They come with the typical reactivity, having a goal. How am I going to get there? Ease, ease, and intend to liberate ourselves and all towards sensitive release. You may have read the description. You may have just scanned through. You may have, deeply meditated upon it. All of that's completely fine, whatever felt appropriate for you. But I mentioned in it this phrase, spacious intimacy, a way of supporting the heart mind to become equally close to all things. Yeah. Spacious without distance. Yeah, that's spacious without distance from life. To be highly, highly sensitive without getting overwhelmed. To be in contact with experience. Yeah, in contact, hands-on, so to speak, contact with experience without interfering with it. Without, I prefer you like that, Is there some ways that we can do that? The goal in meditation, we could take a goal that it's to be here and meet everything and everyone well, for the well-being of all, with care and with resolve, caring resolve. That's what I named this week, which means both intentional purpose, my resolve, my intention, yeah. And resolve also means a bit like dissolve, soften. And that brings this steady softening, steady softening. Quite like the play of those two words. There's something steady and it's softening. Something that's determined. Yeah, we have an idea where we're going, and it's opening. It's determined, but it's actually becoming endless. Yeah, it's not the termination, it's determined opening. to be present while also dissolving, present and dissolving. And that's all we could bring in through the how we pay attention. All of that is in the how we pay attention. How you pay attention to something so significant. And we can bring this slowly, step by step. We'll get closer to all that lives and appears and is felt in this body, heart, mind, in this sensitive awareness. And this will deepen our sense of our interconnection with all things. The theme of this month at Sangha Live is feeling the sense of interconnection. And we can actually use the sense of interconnection as a way into this. So it's interesting, interconnection can be a fruit of our practice. We're breathing, we're meditating, we're feeling that influx and outflow of breath and how that connects us with the things around us, and that can be really lovely. It just occurs to us, but equally we could actually start from adopting the view of interconnection. And you don't have to believe it. Interestingly, you don't have to find a view true in the Dharma for it to be useful. And many times the Buddhas are saying, hold this view. And why? Well, because it's freeing. Yeah. When we live as if we are interconnected, what does that do? That consciousness opens to more spacious. Oh, that I'm interconnected. I'm wider. There's more this. There's more than we can know. I kind of know that consciousness is going to go up to a level, and it's like, well, probably I'm connected to the interconnection of others, wider. And then notice also, does more care come into this space, enriching it with care? And perhaps we can notice when we go in that direction, our experience becomes more subtle, more subtle. And all of these can kind of express a sense of freedom. Yeah. So let's bring that sense of interconnection, let's bring that sense of our intentions into this practice. So as we come into practice, we're probably going to use a particular form. Maybe we'll be sitting, we might be standing, we might be reclining, we could be walking if you've got the space to do that, the capacity to do that. What would most support the intention of what you wish to support? What posture do you feel would kind of lead you into that, shape your experience towards that? There's no right and wrong posture, and it doesn't have to be, well, this is the posture I practice in. Let's have that a live question. Which one? And are you willing to try one? Especially if it's a different one. Yeah, and if you can't do it for the whole half an hour, you can also move. Moving mindfully, moving with intention is possible. I'm sure you can do it. Yeah, so don't worry if you feel like you've bitten off more than you can chew in that. Let's take this half an hour for practice. I'll guide us in and I'll drop in a few reminders. So there's a body here. If the body doesn't feel accessible, feel free to head ahead into sounds, listening to the environment, or other practices that you find are suitable for you. Those of us who feel it's possible to connect with the body, just be a moment where we check in. How are you doing? How are you doing, body? You might notice areas we're holding that are tight, the shoulders and the face. Invite, not force, but invite those to soften a little bit. inviting areas of tension to relax, and then relax a little more without collapsing the posture. And once it's relaxed as much as it can relax, there may still be some tension. And switch into this mode of allowing to remain what's here. You may notice, oh yeah, it actually allows a little more relax to happen, the psychological relax. Bring a similar attitude to the heart area. If you may literally be in the chest, maybe more just the feeling, maybe in the belly, anywhere else. How we're feeling, the tenderness, the sensitivity, having a heart that cares, that is connected. Maybe a heart that wants to fix things, make things better. So it has to allow that this is how it is right now. And so in just this amount of practice, we may have noticed how our thoughts have their own thoughts to do. It's fine. Thinking can happen while we meditate. Can also slow down and cease while we meditate. But we don't push that ahead of its own pace. There'll be a sense of spaciousness here, sense of care for thoughts as well. Thoughts are not against meditation. It's not something they can stop. It's the cultivation of intentions that we're prioritizing here. So can we meet a mind busy with thoughts with that intention, whatever that is? We're being here to love, also thoughts. Not being here to love and kick the thoughts out. It doesn't make sense. Acceptance. I accept a lot of thinking. I'm not entangled in it. I'm spacious and not distant. Sensitive and not entangled. Use something like listening to breaths or listening to sounds as a primary intention in the practice on which we can flow in the intentions, the freedom intentions that we're bringing to the practice. So when we listen with a little bit more of that quality, and we'll prioritize the quality, not the quantity. Just one breath or sound at a time. When you notice you're distracted, this breath, this sound, or even this distraction, so to say, meet that with the kindness, the care of your intention. Noticing where the attention is, but more interesting to see how are we bringing that attention? Can we bring that intention through attention? And we're not so extreme as to say what we're paying attention to doesn't matter, but we do want to explore how we bring attention may be more significant right now. So we allow ourselves to miss moments of presence. They're soft and spacious enough to have to allow that. But when we're present, whatever we're present to, can we bring our intention to what we meet? And when it's the right time, moving that attention to the sustained object of the meditation, the breath, the sounds, whatever that is, sensations in the body. And maybe being with one breath fully, or maybe 3 breaths fully, with that intention really clear, meeting this with less reactivity, more patience. But your intention, whatever you bring. So we're not rushing. We never left the present moment. We never left our interconnection with all things. How could we? Where would we go? We remind ourselves, this inhalation connects me with all things. I'll meet it with open kindness. This sound connects me to all things. I'll meet it with open-heartedness. You're already connected, interconnected to all things. Never left the present moment. Bringing your intention to what you're meeting, and without rushing, moving the attention to a sustainable object of attention. And see how deep we can allow that connection, that intention to be felt. If you wish, for the last part of the meditation, we can even more actively start radiating that intention. For example, if you're comfortable with being in the body space, the whole of the body sensations could be met. We can actually have a sense, rather than this is my body, this is actually nature unfolding here. We're actually attending to this living part of nature. We find ourselves deeply interconnected with the world through this body. The currents of breath and bloodstream, nervous system, sensitive organs. Meeting this body is the point of connection, maybe even sometimes you say the nearest other, the nearest nature. Can we meet that with our wise and heartfelt intentions? You may want to have the breath as a background anchor, or you may be able to let go of that, just fully into exploring attention, exploring awareness, opening through to the whole of the body. There'll be a sense, really not picking and choosing, just the whole of the body, any sensations that appear, pleasant, unpleasant, neither, all of them. Just feeling how that shapes the way we hold the body. Notice how that impacts the heart and mind. However you sense the heart and mind, can that also be bathed in this intention? And opening our awareness to that interconnection again, interconnection between the beings near to you and yourself. Those beings in your local area, maybe you can even hear them, but we can include them into our consciousness without disconnecting from that intention. May you be, whatever that intention was, peaceful. May you be accepted. Letting that circle of awareness expand, include more beings, the beings, not just human beings, from the microscopic to the vast, beings of the earth, the water, the air. Radiating out across urban to fields and woodlands, hills and valleys, gathering a sense of the beings and keeping that sense of that wishing for well-being. Maybe we can keep expanding into a sense of this whole world with its oceans and its mountains, its deep, deep valleys and valleys within oceans, and all the beings of the waters, of the earth, of the air, sky. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. This body of this world to this body of each being, including ourselves. Last moments, just taking some time to feel how it feels. In this body, heart, mind. And in your own time, in your own way, in your own space, we'll begin to come out of the stillness practice, of this guided practice, into the community space again. So thank you for your practice. Thank you for your presence here.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.